Investors return to the housing market. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, let's have a look at this article from Domain because it's highlighting the fact that investors are once again returning to the housing market and pushing out first home buyers, or really overtaking first home buyers as the largest number of people getting loans. So, first home buyers dropping out of the property market as investors return, new data shows. First home buyers are getting crowded out of the hot property market by stiff competition from investors, downsizers, and buyers in between. It's interesting, we were looking at another article looking at just Hobart and the increase in housing and apartment costs there, which over a year are just crazy, and a lot of it's downsizers. That's one of the arguments they're putting forward. The value of loans to first-home buyers dropped 7.8% in the month of June. ABS figures released on Tuesday's show, down 14.7% from January peak. Lending to investors is heading in the opposite direction, up 0.7% in the month and 40.5% higher than in January. So investors are coming back. So is this it? Is the first home buyer, the first home buyer dominance short-lived? First-time buyers had a window of opportunity to purchase during 2020 when those lucky enough to keep their jobs could take advantage of ultra-low interest rates and temporary pandemic-era government stimulus measures such as stamp duty concessions and the home builder grant. So is that what it took? All of these interventions by the government, we've got a pile of debt now, nearly $1.3 trillion. Is that what it took for first-home buyers to get in? Pretty much a pandemic and the government shutting down the economy and then juicing it up to the moon. And no, there's no problem with the housing sector here in Australia. There's no problem with affordability, or the only thing for first home buyers that you need. It's all you need, just a once in a 100-year event and insane amount of government intervention. That's all there is. Come on, guys. You just got to stop having the smashed av on the weekend and pray for an epic disaster, and you'll be right. You'll get in. Bloody hell. I've just been looking at this stuff too much, guys. I'm getting too cynical about it all. They faced less competition as investors largely sat on the sidelines due to uncertainty about the economic outlook and a COVID-19 shock to the rental market that saw vacancy rates soar. Levels of first-time buyers reached the highest point since the GFC when the first homeowner grant was tripled. But rising prices have tempted investors back into the market in recent months, attracted by the prospect of future capital growth and the chance to borrow at interest rates that could stay low until 2024. The same price rises have pushed home ownership further out of reach for some first home hopefuls who struggle to save enough to keep up with the increased deposit requirements. That's the problem. That is the problem with all of these, government schemes, with the 5% deposit guarantee, the 2% deposit guarantee, grants, ultra-low cash rates, guys. That's the problem. It just increases the purchasing power of people. Makes it, more dead. Don't worry, guys. I'm sure there'll be another disaster in another decade, and then that's how you can get in that first home. Investors are definitely coming back, the agency's chief executive, Matt Layhood, said. A lot of them have got money they want to place somewhere in the next 12 months. First home buyers are facing competition on several fronts, he said. From investors, downsizers who were looking for apartments, expats who had returned and were looking to buy, and expats who were still overseas but were looking to invest in Australia. Generally, there's a lot more competition for property, he said, adding that younger buyers were often helped by their parents. It's the bank of mum and dad. I think that's just what is going to have to happen, guys, here in Australia, because these prices are just so insane. So that means next time you're born, you need to pick the right parents, everyone, okay? You need to wait for an epic disaster the government will intervene in the market significantly, and then get born to the right parents. If you haven't done that, you've just been lazy. Try it again next time. Ray White, New South Wales chief auctioneer, Alex Pataro, said competition for entry-level houses was split half and half between first-home buyers and investors. In some neighbourhoods, the first-home buyers were struggling to keep up with price rises. In certain parts of Sydney, we are seeing first-home buyers priced out, he said. they're looking at either larger apartments or venturing to the outskirts of Sydney. First-time buyers were often the first to sit on their hands at the sign of the coronavirus outbreak or another shock, he said. But when they did try to buy, the competition was ridiculous. There's no doubt there are more investors in the marketplace than 12 months ago, even 6 months ago, which is the reason why first-home buyers are seeing more competition at auctions with a different pool of buyers, he said. On average, his team was seeing 7 registered bidders per auction between January and June, but July's figures had jumped to 11, meaning there were 4 more bidders in lockdown than before. There are a lot of buyers who have missed out on a lot of properties. Those buyers have now seen a shortage of stock, he said. There are a number of buyers who have sold property recently, going above and beyond to secure property, or they could be left renting. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't such a brilliant idea to sell at a peak if you want to buy back in. So, Melbourne-based mortgage broker Chris Foster Ramsey has seen first-home hopefuls decide to sit on the sidelines and wait out the property boom in the hopes of trying again in spring. There was a point in time when first-home buyers just turned around and said, "We're out, we've had enough, we're going to wait, it's too crowded, it's such a hot market," the Foster Ramsey Finance Principal mortgage broker said. Typically, we've found in the past, is when there's competition between a first-home buyer and an investor, usually an investor will win because an investor has deeper pockets. Deeper products, probably, for the bank's perspective. Property buyer chief executive Rich Harvey adds that investors might have equity to help them buy in a rising market. The poor first-home buyer, unless they've got the bank of mum and dad, they're going to max out pretty quick, he said. We're definitely seeing a significant increase in the proportion of investors as the year goes on. The thing that's attracting them is capital growth, jumping into a rising market. The lending figures show home lending overall has edged lower in June, down 1.6%, even as property prices keep rising. Westpac senior economist Matthew Hassan said the overall dip was neither here nor there, but there were signs of first-home buyers peaking and dropping out of the picture. Around investors, I don't think we're at the peak yet, he said, but there's still a bit of a question mark around how strong that segment will be. We're coming into a lot of disruption through July, August, and September. There you go, everyone. There you go. I mean, look, have we seen the peak in first-home buyer activities? Are investors rushing back? What do you reckon? Have people missed the opportunity here? Now, I asked a question on my channel, and I'll bring that up, which was, are you waiting for the peak? Or are you waiting for a crash in property, everyone? And we'll bring it here. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Are you waiting for the property market to crash? 67% said yes. 33% said no out of 3,200 votes. Now, the concern is, how long will you wait? Are you trying to time the market rather than have time in the market? Is it just luck? What about all these people that have made so much money on property? Was it skill or luck? And has our government shown they're more than willing to throw every single thing they can, the kitchen sink, the laundry sink, pull the sink out of the bloody caravan in the backyard and chuck that at housing? What do you reckon? Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Is waiting for a correction or a crash a futile effort? And are people missing out on opportunities? As always, if you're a fan of the channel and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy our merch from HeiseSays. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.